Right, so the final case study of the education unit, Bowe, and Gerwitz. Now, this is one that I feel like people dread, and I can somewhat understand why. So I'll just go in with a disclaimer before we actually start going into this. If you aren't familiar with the educational policies that we covered quite near the start of the education unit, so the 1998 policies to be exact, with Thatcher and whatnot. I would, before you read into this case study, I would go back and revise those, okay? Because you need to understand those in order to understand this, okay? So do make sure you are familiar with those policies before you look at this. So the study itself is looking into the idea of the league tables and the impact of parental choice that was brought forward through those 1988 policies introduced by Margaret Thatcher. And basically, they looked at the idea that these policies encouraged schools to reintroduce streaming and setting and basically prioritize the students who are most able in order to boost their place in the league tables. Okay, so for example, if you look at like a football analogy, and obviously being a Liverpool fan is sort of quite beneficial at this point. If you were trying to get to the top of the Premier League, you're hardly going to play your reserve team. Okay, you're going to only play your best possible team. Okay, so naturally, same thing applies in schools. You're going to focus on those kids who can really perform and get you up the league tables. Okay, so that's basically what these guys were observing. So on your sheet, you'll see here you were required to add in some keywords. These are my keywords that I've put in. So I'll talk you through a couple of them. Marketization, okay, so turning the education system into a free market. Another keyword for there. Basically getting schools to compete with each other to try and boost standards, okay, to try and get schools to be as good as they can possibly be by competing with each other. The new right, okay, so this was the political ideology that Thatcher and her sort of Tory government followed, okay, so very much a sort of extreme right to an extent. Parentocracy, so hopefully you can remember this one, but basically these policies enabled parents to take a greater ownership over their kids' education. So you can imagine Mumsnet or some sort of Facebook group for mums in the local area who take great care about their kids' education. I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad thing, and it's not necessarily. But it's something that was created by these policies. The league tables obviously informing it. Equally, this cream skimming and salt shifting. It's a bit of a mouthful. But basically, cream skimming, you can imagine when you get a nice like hot chocolate or latte or something, it's the stuff that rises to the top. Okay, it's the good stuff. You want to scrape that off, get the very best bit off of the rest of the drink. So it's the same principle applying to education. You want to get the kids from the very top and get them representing your school and getting rid of the salty stuff at the bottom, the rubbish students at the bottom, because you don't want their grades showing up on your league table performance. Okay, a few other keywords: educational triage. So the idea that you basically arrive at school and it's decided pretty much then how well you're going to do. So like in the Bowe case study, they were placed into bands, band 1, 2, and 3. Educational triage is that decision. Okay, it's that decision on what band you get put into. So if you don't get through triage in a positive way, if you're not put into band 1, then it's not going to look good for you. And equally, competition. Okay, that is the real sort of essence of new right thinking. Okay, so if you imagine schools competing with one another, trying to become the best school in the local area, naturally both schools are going to become good. Okay, and that is the overarching sort of mindset of the new right thinkers. Okay, so I'll go over this summary in a part 2. Okay, so stay tuned for that one, and we'll also evaluate the study as well. Cheers, guys.